rewind. This is Dope Nostalgia.
All right. It's been a long time coming, but I finally have No More Games Radio on the show together. This is so exciting. No More Games Radio, Amanda, Tanisha, Bethie, and Kelly.
Hey.
Welcome to Dope Nostalgia.
We're so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for making the time to do this. And of course, I have to start things off right away by saying these guys are the ones that embrace Dope Nostalgia right from the beginning. And I am extremely grateful and want to say a huge thank you to you for carrying this show every Saturday afternoon. And it's just been amazing knowing you guys and having this partnership. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Thank you.
our pleasure.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. We love being able to share the content space with you, and we love being able to have you on the station every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can hear an episode of Dope Nostalgia right here on No More Games Radio, and it's so awesome to just support each other. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, well, it's time to do a show where we can talk all about No More Games Radio and what you guys are up to. And your content, as well as the Boybandpalooza we're going to have in a little bit, which I'm very excited about. I just came up with that out of nowhere and threw you guys under the bus.
We're here for it.
You threw three of us under the bus. Tanisha will be just fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have Tanisha to carry us today, DJ Miss T.
Yes.
Yeah, she's our resident boy band aficionado.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I send over these Dope Nostalgia episodes for you guys, I'm always wondering if you're sitting there going, who the hell is that? Who is she talking about or to? Because there's a lot of Canadians in there.
Yeah.
So, and you guys are based out of the States. So I was like, I wonder how many of these you guys are like, I have no idea who she's talking to.
That's okay. We don't discriminate. We love all music of all from all countries. So and we're all North American anyway. But sometimes I'm like, I wonder who that is. I probably should look them up.
It's
because if they're on your podcast, they must be good.
I'm the one that schedules your show every weekend. And if it's someone I don't know, I try to go and get songs from them to play with the episode. So I get introduced to all these new artists, and it's fun.
That's
You've
pretty
introduced me
cool.
to a lot of music, Naomi. So thank you.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
The horizon.
I'm happy to be like a Canadian rep on your station. So
yes.
I think I'm definitely going to start with DJ AK on how No More Games Radio came to be.
Well, we started out we just celebrated our 3rd anniversary on the digital airwaves, if you will. We are a station that plays on the Live 365 platform. It's online streaming station. We stream 24/7, 365, and we also have live shows that we do. We try to do about 4 to 5 live request shows a week. We also have podcast style programming as well. We do a lot of fun interviews, and we also try to do a lot of cool things with other content creators within our little niche of the world, which immediately for the purposes today would be the Block Nation or the New Kids on the Block fans. And we kind of just started out of necessity, and I'll leave it at that. But we have grown so much over these last few years. It's an all-female station, not planned that way. It just happened to end up that way. But we're all amateur. We taught ourselves everything that we're doing here. None of us have a broadcasting degree or anything like that, but we have a passion for the music, and we wanted to bring it to our friends who, we don't normally hear music like this on terrestrial radio anymore. You can hear it on XM radio. Now they have a boy band channel, which kind of was my idea, but that's a whole nother story. And
where are your royalties, huh?
We'll talk to Donnie about that one day. But yeah, so we're just like this ragtag group of chicks from all over the US. We all have our own superpowers, which is what we like to call them. So Kelly, for instance, does a lot of our graphic design. Bethie does a lot of our merchandising. Tanisha puts together some of the best playlists that we have ever played on the station. And she's also works really well under pressure. I do a lot of the video type programming and stuff like that, because I don't mind having my ugly mug all over the place. And, so we each have our own little thing that we're good at. But we're so happy to be here today to talk to you about all the fun music that we love from, it's dope. It's dope nostalgia. Nostalgia is so much fun. It's so much fun to go back and like think of the times that life was easier, and, it just brings me so much joy. So that's why we do it. We love No More Games Radio. Come check us out at nomoregamesradio.com. Follow us on Instagram at No More Games Radio. That's my plug.
She's good.
Thank you.
She got it done. Thank
Yeah.
you, DJ AK. And also, I would go on to Kelly and ask you guys about the different shows you have.
Okay. Well, my personal show is the Hip Hop Hour. It's a bi-monthly. The opposite months is the R&B Hour by DJ Miss T. Bethie and I have some mainly talkish shows that we do, which is Are You Down, which is going to be quarterly going forward. And there's going to be a new one in April. We just got to figure out when we're recording it. And it's just where we give you all the news, the music, and everything that's happened in the last 3 months. We have the Instagram lives that DJ AK hosts, and they are so much fun. Stop, Collaborate, and Listen is another one that Bethie and I do with fellow collaborators and such. We also have our artist interview series, which is All Access Pass. And I believe that we are trying to work on that coming up very soon. And there's so much more. I'm sure I'm missing something. Sparkles, the queen of our community on Facebook, she has a show every Friday morning called Weekend Vibes. We air it twice, so you can always catch a replay of 7 a.m. Eastern. It's too early for you, then you can check us at 11 a.m. Eastern and catch it then. And we've partnered with Marcella Precise from Lady and the Tramp, and she has some affirmations that we share. Is that Monday mornings?
Monday mornings. Keep your cup full with Marcella Precise.
Yep. And so much more. And then so much more on the way.
Don't forget Ask Adrian. Don't forget Ask Adrian.
You know what? Yeah, don't forget Ask Adrian. That is a very fun show. And it's once a month. Yeah. And it's Adrian from Rat Tail, our friend Adrian. And she puts together, you can message in and give her questions that you may need some unprofessional advice from her. And it is definitely not what you're looking for, but it's fun and it's snarky and it is comedic, but sometimes wholesome, sometimes. And so that always airs towards the end of a month. So that's fun. There's so much more I'm missing. Many podcasts that we bring on, including Dope Nostalgia, My So-Called Whatever, and Boy Band Break, and we're working on Share Chatter once they're ready to go.
Nice.
So podcasts, radio.
MJ.
Mary Jo with her metal show and Totally Tubular Tuesday.
Told you there's a ton. There's a lot of us doing a lot of different things at any given moment.
There's no shortage of content. And I love that there's so much variety.
We got more stuff coming up too. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
One of which
we always have something in the works.
Yes. Tanisha has a brainchild that we're all turning our gears on now. So
yes. Excited about that.
Surprises.
Yes.
Okay, so we got to tune in to find out what's coming up. I'm going to go on to DJ Bethie to ask you about some of the interviews you guys have had on the show.
I've said
on
it.
The station, I should say.
Yeah, I've said it so many times. Like, I think about it the last 3 years. How is this my life? Because I've talked to Glenn from Tag Team. I've talked to Vinny from Naughty by Nature. KG knows who I am by sight. And it's, Tanisha and I got to talk to Brad from LFO, and we talked to Jacob from O-Town. And it's just all of these amazing people that I never thought I would ever even get a chance to interact with in any setting, much less get to talk to them where they give us 30 minutes to an hour of their time. It's just so much. And to be able to see people who are just kind of getting started, like Ryan Lane, who is a huge associated artist with us. We all love him. We have dubbed him our station boyfriend, but being able to watch him go through, from just starting out to where he is now and the progress he's made and all the material he's put out is just, it really is just something else. And we've gone through so many different genres of artists. We're not just boy bands, not just hip hop or metal. We have a little bit of variety for everybody.
It's pretty
So,
thrilling when you
yeah.
get those moments to talk to these people. Of course, like,
Yeah.
I can understand it's almost like an out of body experience. I got to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's surreal.
Yeah.
Very
It
surreal.
is. Yeah.
Tanisha, what are some of your favorite memorable moments from your time so far at No More Games Radio?
Oh, wow. Going back to the interviews, it was really cool talking with Brad from LFO and Jacob from O-Town. I've been fans of theirs since the 90s. And they're just really crazy. Like, wow, I'm talking to them. And I've been fans for so long. And recently, me and DJ AK, we did an IG Live and Donnie popped on. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I was in shock. It was so cool talking with him. And Adrian was there also from Rat Tail. And we had a really great conversation with him. And also the main thing is just getting to know all these girls. Like, they're amazing women. Just getting to know
Back at you,
everyone.
T.
Yeah, like, we're all going through things. We're all there for each other. We're in our group chat venting to each other. And like we mentioned before, also, everyone has such amazing shows. Like, if I'm not having a good day, I can listen to any of their shows and I feel so much better.
Aw.
So, yeah, just
Yeah.
a few things that stood out to me the past 3 years. Really amazing. I'm glad to be a part of this team.
Well, that's lovely.
Yay.
And little
Tanisha,
tidbit, Tanisha, she's the one that brought us into the world. She was our very
Yeah.
first live show.
oh
Yeah.
yeah?
And she brought us in with a force. Like she's already a force to be reckoned with anyway, but when she brought us into this world, birthed us into this world, it was magnificent.
You're giving me
It was
visuals.
definitely- Let's just say it was under very extenuating circumstances too, and she did it with grace, and she did
Yeah.
it with professionalism,
Yeah.
and that's how she operates. That we just were so lucky to have her. So
Yep.
Thank
Love
you
you, T.
guys. Thank you. Love you
Yes.
guys too.
Oh, I love the support you guys have going on in this crew. And it's just such a beautiful thing. I have had the opportunity and pleasure to have met all of you except Tanisha and
Yes.
except Sparkles. I'm pretty sure I've met all of you now, which is
I think you
fantastic
have.
considering you're all
Yeah.
mostly East Coast. I believe, Tanisha, you're
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah, Southern California.
What shows are you going to this summer?
I haven't got any tickets yet. I am trying to go to Yamva and the Forum in LA.
I think you need to go to Mountain View.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying you might if you make that happen, we'll finally meet.
Oh, okay.
So check this out, Naomi. If you make the forum happen, you might finally meet. It goes
I
both
thought
ways.
about that too. I thought about that too. I have so
That is
far to
pretty
go
funny.
though.
You do. You do.
We're talking about trying to
Mhm.
extend my stay to go to LA.
Do it.
Go, but
YOLO.
YOLO. Do you have
I'm
a
gonna be
magic seat, Naomi?
I don't. I thought about
Oh.
getting one. I
You
think
need
I'm going to
one.
be jealous once I see people have them. I'm gonna be
Well,
like,
I keep
until they
calling
go
it
to
the hot
jail.
seat. Yeah, I
Yeah,
keep calling
it's-
it the hot seat, and they're like, "No, you don't get to sit on Jordan's lap." And I'm like,
damn it, that's what I paid good money for.
we joke a lot that we're raising funds to save bail money to get her out of jail. Wait, are you on stage in the same
"What?"
place?
Her
Wait,
and
who
Mary
else?
Jo at the same time.
Okay, so Mary Jo and
Mhm.
Amanda have magic seats.
At
Yes,
the same
Yes.
show.
in Charlotte.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Hilarity
need to
is sure
start
to
a
ensue.
We got to start a GoFundMe for bail money for them both.
Or just keep an eye on the 6 o'clock news to see if
It could make for a
11 o'clock
fun
news.
story.
It surely could.
Sure.
I'm going to
So
try not to get arrested.
Do it.
okay, the GoFundMe starts now, everybody. You'll find the link on our
Yes.
page on our social media.
Yep.
And
Link
we'll
in
also
our
have another
bio.
GoFundMe to get Tanisha to Mountain View.
Yes.
Yep.
And then another one to
get me to LA.
Naomi.
Just send us all your money. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please and thank you.
I've already given the new kids all my money, so
Word.
Gosh, me too.
this is where I'm at. Now, we're talking about the station being very retro, very nostalgic. I'm going to go through each of you and ask who your favorite artists are from the 90s. We'll go backwards. We'll start with Tanisha.
Definitely the boy bands, Backstreet and NSYNC, 90 Degrees. Definitely love 90s R&B. I remember loving Janet Jackson and SWV and Vogue.
Hmm.
Yeah, just any boy band, 90s R. Yes, that was my favorite songs growing up was Weak. I love that song growing up.
And that takes me back to middle school dances. Like that one was the one that played at
Me
every
too.
single one. I love it.
Kelly?
Oh, Lordy. Listen, I have been thinking all week about one of my favorite bands from back in the day was Mista. Do you remember Mista? They
No.
sang Blackberry Molasses. I've been thinking about them so much lately and been thinking, I don't want to like overstep on Tanisha's R&B toes, but I think I might have to do a power hour one day where it's not going to be so powerful. It's going to be more soulful hour and just go with like some of these songs from back in the 90s that I'm like, 90s R&B clapped, man. It
Yeah.
hit hard. And I loved Mista, Maya, Monica, Brandy. She said SWV, Escape. I can't even. There's too many. I have goosebumps right now thinking about it. But yeah, 90s were probably definitely R&B for me, like any R&B artist. Even, I hate to say this, but even like, you guys are going to give me a look if I say this.
Do
Even
Say it.
Puff Daddy back in the day. I know. Don't judge. But
Listen,
like, and
no
it wasn't,
judgment zone.
I mean, I was also in my hip hop era, like at that time too. So the R&B, I don't know. Think of New Jack City. Do you remember that movie? Every single song from that is my genre. You're gonna have some. Was it Escape or SWV that had a song in that? The sexy scene, and then you have Ice-T rapping. Like, yeah, that's all me. So all of that.
That's good.
And the new kids, but yeah, all of that.
The Given. All right, DJ Bethie.
I'm currently participating in that 20 days of albums that help shape how you listen to music. And I've been getting my things together, and so many of them are from the 90s. Of course, I had my grunge era, so we're talking Alice in Chains was my band, Pearl Jam, Offspring, Live. I mean, that was really when I kind of got into the other side of rock, because I was brought up on classic rock, and then I just kind of moved into grunge like everybody else once the new kids decided to quit. But it's also the time when I got fully immersed in the Beatles, and so that was a huge musical turning point for me, just in general, because their music speaks to me like nobody else's. So
they had one new song in the 90s. Free as a Bird.
Well, they had two actually.
Was there two?
Yes,
I remember Free as a
Bird and Real Love. They were both off the anthology, which came out in 94, 95. That was right while I was in high school, and I was just surrounded by it, and it was the perfect time to tap into it, and I found my place. But agreeing with Tanisha and Kelly, next to Motown, 90s R&B is where it's at. Yes. I can't, and that's the only other, I guess, period of music I can compare it to. 90s R&B is just amazing. That had so much that was just wonderful. It was so great.
I liked some of the rock bands you mentioned. Of the great 4 grunge bands that existed back in the day, I would have gone with Alice in Chains as my favorite as well.
That's one of
the
my
harmonies,
biggest regrets. It's one of my biggest regrets in life as far as concert going, is that I never got to see them when Lane Staley was alive.
I was just gonna say he didn't give us a lot of opportunity, unfortunately.
His time was short, but I've seen them since, and it's just not the same band. And there's no way it ever will be again. But that was for alternative rock. I mean, like Stone Temple Pilots, and I mean, you've got so many.
Soundgarden.
Chris Cornell is my favorite vocalist.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, let's not forget Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
His death was one of the very first celebrity deaths that affected me hard
Mhm.
Ooh.
because I couldn't believe it. Like, how, you know? So, yeah, that one got to me.
I saw him a week before he
Yeah.
passed away.
Oh wow.
Yep. And I was at a festival. He was there with Soundgarden, and I was getting ready to walk back to the car because I had a really bad headache, and I'm like, I'm tired of being outside. I want to go sit in the car. But I stuck around long enough to watch them perform a few shows, and then he was dead a week later.
Oh,
And that's the only time I had ever seen them perform. So
wow.
it was bizarre. But
It was.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda.
Oh my gosh. So yes, everything that they already said. I also had headed well into my kind of rock phase in the 90s. I think I'm a little older than most of you. And so I'd left the New Kids behind in 8th grade. And by the time I got to high school, I was listening to Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains Unplugged on MTV. Still one of my favorite pieces of music of all time. Like I could listen to that front to back and it just gives me chills. Spin Doctors, like weird
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was into like a lot of really weird, like Mud Honey, like really weird Seattle groups. But then of course I was also listening to like in the very early 90s, like Tone Loc, Young MC. You know, I was busting a move. I was listening to MC Hammer. I was listening to a lot of like
MC Hammer.
hip hop. Definitely Puff Daddy, Mace, like that whole crew of
Bad
people.
Boy, Biggie.
Bad Boy Entertain, yeah, Biggie, Tupac.
Sorry, I'm watching Kelly's faces she's making.
I also loved En Vogue. Like they were literally my favorite female vocal group, and they probably still are of all time. Their harmonies were unparalleled at that time. And yeah, and like now when I'm in my car, what I'm either listening to is like the R&B, 90s R&B on Sirius XM or Lithium, which is basically
the alternative
that,
station. Yeah.
yeah. So and I didn't even know that the New Kids were still around in 1994. Like I hate to even admit that now, but I didn't own Face the Music until they came back for the reunion. And I know, Kelly, I know. But I replaced my Jordan Knight poster with like my flannel shirt hanging on the wall next to my, Pearl Jam poster. So sorry, boys.
You and millions of other girls went through that same thing and a lot of it's based on peer pressure for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think too, yeah, like a lot of my friends stopped liking that kind of poppy, super saccharine pop music. It wasn't cool anymore. And so I kind of went along with the masses. But again, like, I don't know who I thought I was. I was this little, girl in a suburban town listening to like Ghetto Boys and stuff like that too. So like,
this is part of growing up.
Who the hell knows?
This is part of growing up. It's fine.
We were so lucky because the 80s had so many different styles of music, and the 90s really was able to like hone in on them and come out with so many amazing genres and subgenres. Like you were saying, Kelly, like New Jack Swing music was this little known kind of niche genre in between somewhere in hip hop and dance music and stuff like that. I also really like dance music. I liked Snap and like Rhythm is a Dancer and all of that stuff and Technotronic and all of that. So I don't know, it's like music schizophrenia in the 90s. All over the place.
That should have been a genre.
Yeah.
New Jack kills. I love New Jack Swing. We did a whole episode with Law about it.
Oh, and I'm sure, he did a hip hop playlist for us last year when it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. But I also love New Jack Swing, and I've done a few shows specifically dedicated to that type of playlist. And it's every time I hear Albie Shore, it just makes me happy. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, it is time to get into the deep stuff here. This is Boybandpalooza. All right.
Lord.
Yes.
Have a little
Now-
theme music,
Cue
a
the
little game
consent.
show music or something.
Now, during Boybandpalooza, I'm sorry to the fans of 98 Degrees and Jonas Brothers and all the other boy bands, because we're only going to talk about 3 boy bands, the 15 guys that make up New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC. Why? Because that's all we fucking care about today. Okay. So,
Yep. And
They're
it's,
like
it's
really
this
the
Naomi
boy
show.
band triumvirate. They are
Yeah.
they're the
They're the
top.
They're the
trifecta.
they're the trifecta.
Yeah.
Correct.
exactly. So that helps keep it concise as well. But we're going through different categories of greatness, and each of you are going to give your picks. Now, one thing we went through earlier is that I didn't quite spring this on them. I gave them some heads up about what I was going to ask, but we've got some biases happening here, which is
Mhm.
completely fine. Why? Because everybody's a hardcore New Kids fan
Mhm.
Yeah.
and might not know so much about the other 2 groups. That's okay. They've done some
We did some
research.
Googling. We did some Googling. We
Mhm.
use the term boy band monogamous at No More Games Radio. So we have a few people who are strictly fans of New Kids on the Block, and again, maybe, you know, at the time in their life, once Backstreet and NSYNC and all of them came out, they were already, you know, in their boyfriend's garage smoking pot, wearing flannels and
Yes.
you know, Doc Martens. So
Yeah.
so we call ourselves boy band monogamous, but obviously we love the genre. And so we're here for the game. We're ready to play.
Yep. Let's
Tell
do
the
it.
people at home what we win. No, I'm kidding.
You win glory.
$1 million.
And admiration.
I've said it before. This podcast doesn't have money for prizes because we spend it all on New Kids on the Block cruises.
Yep. There
So-
you go.
So we'll start. We'll do. I'll keep a specific order going, but we're gonna ask the first question, which is, who is the best vocalist out of all 15 gentlemen? Let's start with Amanda.
So I'm going to say Jordan Knight is the best vocalist out of all 15 men.
Okay.
I have 2 people who could be a close second, but we're not playing for second place here today. So I'm going to say Jordan.
Wait,
He's my
you can
favorite.
Say, you can say second place. You can. Or
If I had to
ties
choose
are
a
also
second
allowed.
place, I think Joey McIntyre has a beautiful voice as well. Also a new
Mhm.
kid. I also really love Justin Timberlake's voice.
Okay.
Kelly's like,
Mhm.
So
I find with
That's-
Justin, with JT, it's like you either love him or hate him. In all categories.
I was just going to say, I think that he has a lot of similarities to Jordan's voice because he sings falsetto and he also can sing, you know, kind of that gritty, like tenor voice that I love when Jordan hits, but I also love it when JT hits it. And I really love his new album. It just dropped yesterday, I think. And he sounds amazing, Justin Timberlake. But if I had to, gun to my head, it's always Jordan.
It's a very
Mm.
grown up new album. I find he's really showing his maturity as an artist. But
I love it.
I appreciate that you said, I've had these thoughts where, okay, Jordan does the falsetto, and it used, you know, he used to sometimes get flack for it. But the thing is JT's always done the falsetto too, and you never hear anybody saying shit about that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why it's okay for all of the other boy bands. They're all more legitimate for some reason than the new kids. I find that it's always been that way. And I hate that. But I hate
think it's
that
a
for the new
generational
kids.
thing.
New kids walked
Maybe.
so the rest of them could run. So they had to deal with all the
Preach.
Mhm.
so they had to deal with
Yep.
all the shit. So the other ones didn't.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Ah,
Guess so.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to DJ Bethie with her favorite vocalist.
Well, like Amanda said, I mean, Jordan is, I mean, he's going to be at the top of every category except the ones that are the bad ones. But with this one, I got to go with JC from NSYNC. His voice is it
But
gives me chills sometimes when you hit the right song, and it's just
his tone.
Yeah.
it's serene almost, and
Justice for JC. Hashtag justice for
Yes.
JC.
yes, yeah. So I would put JC and Jordan kind of in the same spot, but for different reasons.
Kelly.
Oh, so I actually wrote down my answers, and this was a very hard one for me to pick, and I feel like I might be slightly judged for it, but I'm going with it anyway. I am basically boy band monogamous, but back in the day I was definitely NSYNC, like love. And I have to say that if I go to BSB, it's AJ and Kevin, but AJ I love his swagger.
Yes.
But I'm a sucker for Joey McIntyre at all times.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, I loved Chris from NSYNC. And his hair, I know. I have a picture over
Pineapple
there.
head, Chris.
I have a picture over there with him with his pineapple on his head and the confetti from the concert and my ticket. And Chris, I just loved it. And I think that like I was drawn to him because of his tenor and Joey. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense. But also JC, again, I agree, justice for just JC. But can we talk about Joey Fatone? He's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
If I
actually
had to pick one,
fantastic.
if I had to pick just one, it's probably Joey McIntyre. But I can't with all those right there that I named.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you went out on a limb and went to the different different guys and left your comfort zone.
I did. AJ is definitely one of those that would be way outside my comfort zone. He'd be somebody I'd be really shy around. I'm heavily attracted to that.
And our boy band expert, Tanisha. It's time for you to win.
Yes. The two that popped in my head, number one, JC. I mean, enough said. His voice just amazing. Just really, it's not fair that his solo career didn't go as far as it should have.
Yeah.
He just has an amazing voice. He's definitely very R&B. They were trying to make him go pop. He has a great R&B voice.
He does.
And I wish they would have gone more that way. And I had to go with AJ. He has a raspy voice. No one else has his voice.
Yeah.
It just, other boy bands, you just don't hear that. So,
and you can definitely pick him out when you hear a Backstreet song.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. It's very, it stands out.
It does.
Yeah, so those are the two that popped up, JC and AJ. I mean, obviously Jordan, Joey, amazing vocalist as well, but yeah, just JC. I just, like I said, I always get so upset about his solo career. He could have, I wish he would have blew up like Justin, because he deserves it. He's a great songwriter also.
The songs that he was preparing for his second album were incredible.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Like, yeah, you can find them all over, scattered around if you look hard enough. But he had some great tunes coming and prepared, and it didn't happen. And it was really frustrating. Yeah.
He's having himself a moment right now, though. I've seen him on Instagram with that One Night Only show that they came out and did with Justin Timberlake. And JC is really, he sounds amazing. And he looks pretty good too.
Every time I watch Pluto TV, I get to see the Meow Mix commercial and get to hear him sing.
Oh my fuck. This commercial. Oh man. I shake my head. I'm
how
like,
I feel about that. Me too. I'm like, oh really?
Why? You're better than
Must have
this.
been a great paycheck. That's all I can think of.
I love cats, but JC, you're better than this.
Maybe he knew somebody and he owed them a favor. Like, I don't know.
Maybe he
The
lost a bet.
Calico down the street.
Yeah.
I will finish this category by saying I kind of picked one from each group because I couldn't help myself. I couldn't stop. I'm a Jordan girl, but I'm gonna pick Joe because he's got this power in his voice, and he's very Broadway, he's very theater in his vocals. He's fantastic. Yeah. So is Jordan. They're two completely different singers.
Completely.
They're both good, and New Kids is lucky to have both of them because their styles are so different.
Yes.
Backstreet Boys, I'm going to go with Brian. There's something so comforting and smooth about Brian's voice. I absolutely love it. And with NSYNC, it's JC, baby, all the way.
Yes.
Oh, JC, he almost swept it.
Racking
JC,
it up.
if I were to pick the number one of all of them, it's JC out of the 15 as the best vocalist, in my opinion. There you go.
Yay.
We got through a category.
Woohoo.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi. If you enjoy Dope Nostalgia, thank you. Consider becoming a Patreon subscriber today for as little as $1 a month. It helps keep the show on the air and rolling. So if you want to check out our Patreon, it's at patreon.com/dope nostalgia. $1 a month, and you'll be helping support one of your favorite podcasts.
Hey, Woodshed, it's AK.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. What are you doing?
I was just sitting here listening to the Dope Nostalgia podcast. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness, I am also listening to the Dope Nostalgia podcast. Did we just become best friends? Hey everybody, what's up? It's DJ Woodshed and DJ AK from No More Games Radio. Keep listening to our friend Naomi on Dope Nostalgia podcast and check us out at nomoregamesradio.com.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Okay, we're moving on to the category Best Dressed. Now, you can talk about how they dress now. You can talk about how they dress back in the day. It doesn't matter. But Best Dressed, we're going to start with Amanda.
So back in the day, we all know they make fun of themselves constantly, the new kids on the block, for some of the outfits and wardrobe that they were put in back in the day. If I had to choose a specific outfit for Best Dressed for any one of them, it would be Jordan Knight, red plaid vest, nothing underneath, rat tail, blue jeans,
Yes.
black shoes, end of story.
Preach.
Now I would venture to say I really think Donnie is I love the way Donnie dresses. I love his style. I love his swag, but I also love that he's not afraid to like be comfy. I think I always thought Kevin was really a nice dresser from Backstreet.
Suave.
Yeah.
Very suave. And I mean the NSYNC kids too, like all of these guys, they went through their phases of all these crazy, like mismatched or matching outfits and all kinds of cuckoo stuff. I don't really know. I like Lance Bass. I think maybe he's a pretty snappy dresser. I think he's just adorable. So that would be my vote for the best dressed category. Donnie, Kevin, and Lance.
Well done. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Very
you.
good choices. DJ Bethie.
You know, for back in the day and today, I'm going to have to go with Lance. And I'll say because he has always dressed for his body type. And nobody could rock those in the 90s, those ribbed sweaters and just like a pair of Levi's. Please. Hands down, just he killed it. And he still does. I mean, he knows how to dress for his personality, his body type, and whatever type of situation he's in. So
Style-wise, you got it. Those frosted tips don't lie.
He looked great
They
with the
don't lie,
pink hair
man.
the other night too. Did you see that? He looked so cute. He could rock any color of frost.
Yep.
You got it. You got that swagger. You got that, Lance. All right. KellyMo.
All right. I literally, the only one that comes to my mind immediately was Donnie. Like, hands down, he's always had like a style and it just hits with style and swagger, like at all times, no matter what he's wearing. Even if he's just got on a pair of black joggers and some slippers, he's still got the freaking swagger and a style to him that I think he's adorable. And it's him.
I loved his Public Enemy looks back in the day too.
Yeah.
Gosh, especially like when he looked a little dirty too, like maybe he hadn't showered.
With the
And I'm
bandana
really
and all
happy
his hair popping out the top.
Yep.
That was nice.
Oh, exactly. I'm loving his new wearing glasses era again
Yes.
recently too. I love that look for him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
His casual look nowadays is very like black shirt, chain, cap, you know, and it suits him and it works, and I think he looks comfortable and happy, so it's good. Tanisha.
I was thinking more recent, and I think overall New Kids dress the best. I love their style. I was looking up at different award shows, and they had really great outfits for the recent award shows. Since we're picking one, I'm gonna go with Jordan. I just feel like he dressed the best. Obviously, he looks good. I liked his look at Kelly Clarkson with like the all black and the tan
Oh, and
jacket.
that
I thought he looked really
jacket.
good
Woo!
with that. Yeah. So for more
Where's my
recent, I'm gonna
fan?
go with Jordan.
Nice. For mine, I'm going back in the day and now. I'm going to say Jordan because my favorite Jordan look is the suits. Like when you were getting into 1990, 91,
the
when he started wearing the suits. Yes. Even if they looked really big on him, it didn't matter. He looked so handsome in them. And with the earrings, there was something about the earrings too that really was really nice. And his hair was always so perfect. And he was just he won an award. He won an award. What was that? It was a Smash Hits UK for Best Dressed. Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
And then now he's really gotten into his sweatpants, his joggers. Even in the new video, he's wearing his joggers. I'm like, wow, he managed to pull off comfort and style.
Yeah.
In the kids' video. So it seems now like he just wants to be like, I think he can't wait to be a grandpa.
He's pretty close, I'm sure.
Gilf, Kelly, Gilf.
Gilf.
He's gonna be a Gilf.
There's your Gilf reference for the day.
Yep.
I will
At least it wasn't Danny.
I will also give it to Jonathan back in the day because Jonathan could wear a suit well as well.
Oh, he was so cute. He's still in.
And I like his rugged farm look. I do.
Yes.
I agree.
The Knight brothers are doing it for us. Thank you.
Yeah, they both look great.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ooh. Should we do the worst category? I don't think we should. I feel unless you guys got something really funny prepared.
All I'm gonna say is someone needs to teach Brian Luttrell how to tuck in a shirt. Because if you look up pictures of Backstreet, there are several where like part of it's hanging out, the other one's tucked in, or it's a button up and it's like, dude, if you're gonna look sloppy, like look sloppy from top to bottom. Don't just do this, commit to it.
Yeah.
My comment was simply, do you remember NSYNC from back in the day?
Yeah.
There you go. They
that
had
was
the whole thing was a mess.
All of their pictures.
Yeah. You're gonna know what I'm talking about, Tanisha. The other girls might, but do you remember when they did that photo where they looked frozen?
Oh yeah.
Like what the hell?
Rolling Stone.
Seriously, I'm like, I don't get it. Whatever. Okay, I get it. You had an idea. I hear you, but no, he ain't doing nothing for me.
Yeah, I picked NSYNC also. Just their back in the day outfits. Oh, what award show? It might have been the VMAs. It looked like they all had on plastic garbage bags, but it was like like red and brown and silver. And I was like, what are they wearing? I mean, not to be mean, but like even recently, I haven't liked some of their outfits. Even recently.
Their stylist back in the day, I think, left a little bit to be desired. I think they were trying to be too funky, almost make them like stand out a little too much, or I don't know. I mean, as if the ramen hair wasn't bad enough on Justin. The corresponding outfits were a lot to be desired.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I'm glad we went with this one then. Yeah, it's true. I always felt like BSB had the edge on them fashion wise.
Yeah.
But then you have AJ, who's kind of a wild card and always had been, and still is. I think he always was like a little bit left of center with his fashion choices too. So I mean, some people might think that that's a little undesirable. I always thought it was cool, and I still think he's really cool. I love that he's, just marches to the beat of his own drummer. So, but I think maybe back in the day, for sure, some people might have said that AJ wasn't always the best dressed.
He and Harry Styles have really embraced wearing women's clothing.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's something like he just owns it. He does. So yeah.
Quick
Very
side note.
confident.
Quick side note for Backstreet Boys. I've always loved their style, but for the recent DNA tour, I did not like their tour outfits. Did not at all like their tour outfits.
I went to the tour, but I don't remember what they were wearing. I might have been too
I
drunk.
I like their black and white outfits, but they had outfits in the middle. It's like they weren't coordinated at all. Like none of the outfits matched. And I was like, wow, usually Backstreet has it pretty together for the tour outfits, but didn't care for the outfits in the middle of the show. I'm not sure what happened with that.
But I'm pretty sure they made up for it with the dressing room on the stage.
Oh, true.
That was wonderful.
We're so spoiled because we're used to the new kids always looking so amazing and different while still being cohesive. Their stylist really has it down to a science, and she really dresses them perfectly for each one of their personalities. So I think we're looking at it with like a little bit of a different eye because of what we're used to.
Once again.
Yeah.
Once again, they walked so the rest could run.
Oh, geez.
But before we end this category, we got to give a shout out to the old Larger Than Life video by Backstreet Boys, where they were basically wearing robot clothes.
That's right.
Oh man, AJ with a crop top.
See,
Well, I
that's
mean,
what I'm talking about.
That's Donnie's cruise wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to make a crop top for the summer tour because everybody thinks he says jump in the crop top.
Yeah.
We're all going to sing it like
in
that
the
too.
new songs. Yeah. So
it'll be the right weather
Joey's
for it.
gonna,
So
yeah, there's gonna be crop tops
weather for a
everywhere.
bikini top. That's for sure.
Oh boy,
I'm not wearing a crop top.
Me either.
This next category is basically, I think, in a way, just saying who your favorite new kid is. Most handsome.
Joey.
Jordan. Fill it out.
But we can't forget the other two groups.
Oh yeah. All right. Wait. Should I go?
Oh yeah. Yes, Amanda, you said.
So I'll say Jordan from the New Kids. Bob's. Kevin. I think Kevin is the most handsome from Backstreet. And I have to go again. I don't know why. I just like him. I have to go with Justin Timberlake from NSYNC.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bethie.
Well, Jordan, of course, from New Kids. Backstreet. I don't know. It's difficult because I love AJ's style. I love his personality. And I think a lot of that comes out in his presence whenever he's somewhere, and that adds to the whole the look as well. But Kevin's not bad looking either, so I'll say those two. And NSYNC, I'm going to go with Lance because he's my favorite NSYNCer, and I've always thought he was a dreamboat, and I still think he is.
He's
and
got
he has
beautiful eyes
and amazing hair, and
he does have luscious
baritone,
locks.
And that he checks off lots of boxes for me.
And his husband's cute, so that helps.
Yes.
I like their Instagram videos they do, or their TikTok videos they do together. Kelly.
Oh, okay. So Joey McIntyre, always and forever. If I have to pick of the other ones, I'm going to go ahead and say AJ from Backstreet Boys. Now, this one's where it gets tricky. And I was a Chris girl way back in the day. Still love Chris, very much so. But my flavor has changed. And I would say it's definitely Joey Fatone, and it's more than the looks.
That one.
It is the personality. It is. I don't know. He posted at the Orlando Magic game the other day, and I was like, dang, how quick can I get there? But yeah,
I will say
I love
your boy Chris is looking pretty fire right now, though. He's
He
lost
lost
some
so
weight
much
recently.
weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Body by Ozempic.
I also think like some men just get more handsome as they age, and we've got a lot of that
Yeah.
happening in the
Mhm.
15.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
For
Tanisha.
sure.
They're aging with grace for sure.
Yeah. So for new kids, I have to go with John. I
Nice.
just
Okay.
think,
Oh,
yeah.
handsome.
Kevin from Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
Absolutely. I just either long hair, short hair, shaved head. He just looks good either way.
Yes.
He has like chiseled face, green eyes. He definitely looks
Keep
really good in
going.
his 50s.
Keep
Mhm.
going.
And
Thanks,
then
hi.
and then from NSYNC, I have to go with Lance. I didn't find him
Yeah.
I didn't find him like super attractive before, but he definitely grew into his looks, the colored hair. I just think he looks really good.
Yeah.
Style-wise,
He's living his
everything.
life.
Living his
He's-
best life.
Yes.
Currently, I think Lance is the best looking currently
Yeah.
of the 5.
Yeah.
And this goes without saying, and I'm sure we all agree on this, that doesn't matter. All 15 of them are extremely good looking men.
Yeah.
They're all handsome. They're all beautiful. But this is kind of just which is your favorite. So Jordan wins my life.
Oh,
Jordan
feel
to me
that.
is perfect. He is the model of basically, I think, what I started to look for in a guy in life.
Yeah.
Yep.
The tall, dark, and handsome thing.
He
Which
set the
high.
standard.
he set a standard, an unreachable standard, apparently.
Yeah.
And then I would go with Kevin. Back in the day, I liked Nick, and that's kind of weird for me because I don't know. But Nick, I feel like looks better now than he did then. Nick
Yeah, I
Carter.
agree.
He had such a baby face then, and I think he really grew into his kind of features, and like I always felt like his face was like so round, even though yes, he was very cute, but I think definitely he's matured into a nice looking man. But I still like Kevin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then then JC, I'm going to pick JC. Then JC, I believe, is handsome now, but I want to see what he looks like under all that hair.
The
'Cause
head
he's
hair
very-
or the facial hair?
Both.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
what's he
yeah.
hiding?
Okay, we're going on to most frustrating.
Oh
And
dear.
for so many reasons.
Does anybody
Amanda.
not want to answer this question?
The most frustrating of all the 15 men is Jordan Knight.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why we say
And that is
hashtag
what I'm
damn it,
saying.
Jordan.
It is so hard
Damn it.
being a Jordan girl. Okay. I'm just saying they don't call him the unicorn for nothing. He is
Yep.
such a tough nut to crack. He is so gorgeous, so talented, so awesome. And yet, oh my God, you just want to like strangle him sometimes. People have such negative like opinions about him sometimes because they don't give him the grace of being a human being. You know, they think, oh, he wasn't nice to me in the meet and greet, or he wasn't. And I understand that, but he is also a human being. But in terms
Amen.
of like just generally being frustrated, like Joey's out there doing all kinds of stuff. Where's Jordan at? You know,
Jordan is in the attic is where Jordan is.
I know. I came across some
Stocks.
pictures from a couple years ago, a couple meaning like 12 years ago, when they did their stingy party here in New York City, Donnie and Jordan. And I was like, oh, remember when Jordan used to be allowed out like to play? But
Oh.
I find it incredibly frustrating to be a Jordan fan. I always
Yeah.
remind myself though that he is not Donnie.
Yes.
Donnie is one of a kind in terms of his personality, his accessibility, and his willingness to, you know, have a
himself out there.
relationship with fans.
Mhm.
Yes. But yeah, I think it's Jordan. I can't really speak to the other two bands because honestly, I'm not quite. I could imagine AJ probably being pretty frustrating when he was dealing with, you know, addiction, and it might have been really hard to deal with him as a bandmate while he you know, was suffering through that illness of addiction.
Mhm.
And probably the guys from NSYNC are pretty frustrated with Justin Timberlake because he won't just go on damn tour with them, but whatever. But yeah, it's Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get to what I have to say when it's my turn. It is now Bethie's turn.
I mean, I agree 100% with what Amanda said. Being a Jordan girl it has to be a labor of love, because if you got into it to be able to get to know him, you're going to be disappointed at every turn. He just barely gives you that, like, you barely scratch the surface. He just gives you a tiny glimpse of, this is who I am, but I'm going to go into hiding. So I'll leave you yearning for it. I'm going to show you, but then I'm going to go away. So yes, that's very frustrating.
He shows you guys what edging is.
Ooh,
Okay.
so edged.
That went too far. Sorry.
There we are, folks.
Is this podcast rated for maturity or no?
There's no ratings.
I'm okay then. See,
It's like stop, collaborate, and listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember
and I'm
my
gonna have to go with
about Jordan liking it from behind.
Yes. We had a whole discussion about that, and we know it's true because he talks about it a lot. And I'm probably also going to go with Nick Carter, just because it seems like every time I see him, I mean, not talking about his family with the passings and everything, that's incredibly tragic, but any other time I seem to see him in the media, it's just always some bullshit, and I'm just like, dude, can you just stop it?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that either, Bethie, but yeah, I think that could probably, I agree with that about Nick.
I mean, I do wonder, I would have loved to have been on the inside of the Nick and Knight to see those two not on stage and how they, because
it's such an odd pairing.
Their bromance.
That's a whole other freaking show.
I mean, it worked for the music, but I look at them sometimes and I'm like,
Nick Farter. That's all I have to say.
Nick Farter.
That came to me,
that's me
in a DM from Jordan once, but that's a whole nother story.
Kelly.
So I'm up. Jordan, you're safe with me, honey. Danny used to really frustrate me because he just seemed so unapproachable and just not wanting to be anywhere. But he's really become, don't judge me on this.
No,
he's really become a different person lately. And he's much more like softer and kinder and more approachable seeming. So I feel like he doesn't annoy me as much as he used to. He's not a gilf to me, Amanda, but I appreciate him, and I still really like his voice in some of the songs. Like it's there, it's good, it's needed, and I like it. So Danny doesn't frustrate me as much anymore, but I have to say one person who frustrates me, and I'll just say it and then move on. But Brian really annoys the crap out of me. I don't agree with a lot of his beliefs, and
and I didn't want to bring that up, but yes,
it was in my head.
It really irks me, and I'm like, how can you live so backwoods like that and not even come out of your shell to listen to another person and their points of views? I don't agree with that. He's a parent, but
if you watch his wife, that's how they live.
I wasn't gonna bring up the wife or the kid or nothing like that. But
well, I mean, it's obviously in the DNA.
The wife has gone and done and said things to people that are quite questionable,
atrocious, trashy, uncalled for, demeaning, and belittling. So that's my answer, is going to be Brian Luttrell, and I do not apologize for it.
And I want to say that the Luttrells do not represent all Christians.
No, they do not.
They surely don't.
No. Nope. I like him on the stage. That's it.
All right, Tanisha.
I was gonna go there with Brian, but I was like, do I want to go there or not?
It was all in our heads.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with Nick Carter because I used to be a really big Nick fan. Well, I still am a fan of his. But just growing up as a Backstreet fan, his behaviors throughout the years, getting arrested and dating Paris Hilton and being in the whole
Oh, that's
Hollywood
right.
lifestyle. It just very disappointing. And I try to take into consideration his family life and things like that, but just over the years, like, oh, Nick, stop getting arrested, stop hanging out with these people. But I'm proud of him now. He's, married, has the kids. He seems to be on a good path, trying to get healthy and things like that. So, but growing up a Nick fan, very frustrating watching his poor choices and things like that. But like I said, I am proud of him and AJ. AJ could be frustrating at times as well, but yeah.
And it's hard to, when you think of all the pressures they had with fame and how look how hard that is on people, and how we're lucky that they're all still here,
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you know,
Yes.
All of
they
them.
they've never
Yeah.
all 15 of them have never experienced a normal childhood, a normal growing up situation. So the way they look at life is a lot different than the way we look at life.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad you said that too, Tanisha. When talking about Jordan Knight, Amanda really nailed it on the head, I think. You can't expect him to be who he's not. You can't expect him to be Donnie. And Donnie is an enigma of a person who is just above and beyond and just beautiful with how much he puts out there for his fans. The thing about Jordan is he could try a little more.
Yeah.
I respect his decision to leave social media, but this all started happening for me when he did, because I feel he doesn't do anything else that he could be doing when he has the opportunity. So BlockCon, for example, nobody's telling him he has to be on Instagram, but you could have showed up in your doll box. The rest of the guys all did.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? We lined up for a doll box that was empty during lunch, hoping he would show up. So I don't know. Maybe it's his anxiety. I don't know what it is.
There's
They make
medication.
you know
medicine
what?
for
I'm just
that.
saying. Yeah.
If John can get past his crippling anxiety, Jordan can do it too.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. I mean, mental health and anxiety it affects just about everybody nowadays. So if
And
that's the
choice city.
case, he could do something about it if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it for the fans. Like, do it for the people who are your paycheck.
Yeah. We've paid a lot of money to be there, and it would be just nice if he could do that. Now, when people do complain about Jordan and meet and greet saying he wasn't nice or whatever, it's not that. He's just quiet. I don't think he does anything negative. And I think
No.
if you
It's just
saw,
awkward.
I think if you had a bad interaction with Jordan, you might have to also look at yourself and what did you say to him?
Or would you
Yeah.
expect?
Or how did you come at him?
Yeah.
Or what
Yeah.
did you expect? He's just a person.
You
too.
literally, you're there for a few seconds. And if you just say, "Hey, Jordan, I'm Kelly," and he smiles at you and just keeps chewing his gum like, and smiles at the camera and moves on, like, hey, he looked at me and he heard me. So whatever. Those people just have to go into it with no expectations of any reaction and say what you want them to hear you say, whether they retain it or not, and then move on and know that you did your part. And it's fine if they don't react how you want them to, because 9 times out of 10 they're not going to.
I mean, my best Jordan interaction was talking to him about hugging sweaty women.
Was this on the cruise?
No, this was in Greenville in 2022. Where
yeah.
they had the VIP outside, and it was in the South, and it was in July, and it was like 180 degrees. And, they had to bring us inside because it started to storm, and you got an entire line of women with poofy hair and sweating. And I walked up to him like, "Are you tired of hugging sweaty women yet?" And he just went, "Ha, that's funny." And I had not planned to say that. It just came like anytime I plan to say something is when you get the awkward reaction. But I just went off the cuff with that one, and I actually got a laugh out of Jordan. So that's
nice.
I'm gonna put that feather in my cap.
Yes.
Heck yeah, you should.
And kudos to Danny as well. Because I've always been kind of scared of Danny. but he was really, really sweet on the cruise, and like leading up to every interaction I've had with him has been fairly positive. And even the last one, I didn't really even say anything to him, and he just said, "Hey, I like your dress." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks,
really
man."
Nice.
I was like, "Daddy, you're
Thanks,
so
Gramps."
awesome." So yeah. No, it's and yes, the given is Justin Timberlake we don't really need to go into that because everybody's frustrated that but
Yeah.
he just did what he did, that one night only thing. So that's really cool. Any opportunity for NSYNC fans to see them all together is really exciting.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
they are having their moment now, and I'm so happy for them. I put something on social media because I said, I'm not a huge NSYNC fan, but I understand what they feel right now and how freaking awesome. I hope they enjoy every minute of this. I hope they get their hands on every little clip that they possibly can. And, maybe this won't be the end. Who knows? But it was so cool. Definitely cool. And I could definitely appreciate how they must have been feeling after that. All that stuff started hitting Instagram. Like my feed was going nuts with NSYNC.
Yeah.
Tanisha, I have a question because I have heard before that Justin is not the reason, that it's JC.
Yeah, I heard JC was the holdout. I believe Lance said it on Frosted Tips. I forgot who he was interviewing.
Okay,
they said JC was actually the holdout.
Yeah, it's not Justin.
He might have been talking to Donnie.
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe it. I kind of believe it. I don't know. That needs more digging.
Well, and I, from JC's point of view, I can't blame him because really you think about their career when it stopped, it was NSYNC, then the Justin show.
Yeah.
So why would you want to go through that again?
That's a very
after
good
all
point.
this time and then get back into it and then you're still second place.
Yeah.
When you don't deserve to be. So
very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very humble about the whole thing, but it could have hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's just do it. Biggest pervert, Amanda.
I think it's Joe McIntyre, and here's why. One of the times when I was at meet and greet, we were in Hershey Park, and I was standing between Joseph McIntyre and Jordan Knight. Jordan's the second pervert, but I'll say Joey's the worst because he initiated this conversation. When the photographer was like, okay, say cheese, Joey leaned into those few of us who were near him and he goes, nah, say blowjob. And we were like, but then here's the kicker. Jordan Knight leaned into my ear and said, no, say deep throat. And I almost fucking died. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yes, it was so hot. I almost died, Naomi. I know. And they both kind of said it, like Joe said it with his thick Boston accent on. He was like, nah, say blowjob. I can't do a Boston accent. And then Joe was like, or Jordan was like, nah, say deep throat. And I was like,
how are
you? He probably did it with his with
I
his
just
low
melted.
voice.
Yes. It was crazy. So anyway, that's my perv story.
I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Bethy.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. AK's in my head again. I'm going with Joe. Just because he's so snarky about it too. But he knows. He's so full of himself, but we're here for it.
He's well endowed.
Yes. And he on the cruise, I was not prepared to see him in those white pants. And really, we should have had something like a disclaimer saying, hey, prepare yourself for when Joseph comes out because you might faint. And yes, it was a moment. And yeah.
He knows what he's working with.
The guitar and the underwear.
Yes.
I think I have to change my answer.
I thought she said her underwear.
What?
Oh, she said change her answer. I thought you had to change your underwear.
I mean, that too.
All right, you're up, Kelly.
Okay, I'm still gonna say Danny's a pervert because 3 words, pimps and hoes. But now that you've pointed it out, that as the resident Joe girl, I'm a fucking idiot for not saying that first. Because how many times has he showed up in underwear? And every single time, I'm here for it. And I'm blown away.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And half the time I'm wondering about, how is Barrett not dead? Barrett not dead.
Oh my God.
He probably does Pilates or something because, I bet she keeps her core in top shape.
Yeah, she got
I mean,
Pelvic floor is incredible.
she has no other option. Like, Daddy's special treat is no joke. Serious. And does she call it that? Because I would.
I bet she probably has her own pet name for.
Who's the pervs now? It's all of us.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Rabbit hole. You start talking about pervs, you start acting like a perv.
Tanisha, are you
Right,
feeling it?
Yeah. And that's hard because I think all of them are perverts. They're men. I think they're
Yeah.
all perverts. But I was going more back in the day with Nick and AJ. I remember them. They were big time womanizers and back in the day. And like, I remember seeing some cruise footage of them. They were doing very suggestive hand signals. I'll leave it at that.
Oh
Especially
boy.
Nick.
Oh,
I was like,
fans?
oh, okay.
dirty, dirty
Like towards
boys.
fans?
Huh?
Towards fans?
Yes. Dirty hand signals.
I can
Like
imagine.
towards their mouth?
It ain't just hip thrusts.
Ooh.
Well, no, they were like on the balcony, so it was out to the fans.
Oh,
I was like,
Skeet,
oh,
skeet.
okay.
Um,
How about Nick running underneath the stage naked down the big penis stage?
oh yeah, that was good.
Oh, wow.
I want to say one more thing though. I think Jonathan Knight is a little bit of a closet perv too.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
use the word closet in that way. But I remember seeing video of him on the cruise being drunk and like pointing out girls' big tits in the audience
Mhm.
and saying something like, when I'm drunk, I like tits. So you didn't see that?
I don't think he's a
No.
closet perv at all. I think he owns
You think
it,
he's straight up?
especially on the cruise.
He's out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like
Oh,
to
yeah.
let him know that I am a double D and I'm here for it, Jonathan.
Hey-o.
Anytime you need to rest your head on pillows.
Yeah.
You see me.
Got you.
Come to my
She's
bosom.
got you. She got you.
I'm glad you brought up the Nick and AJ thing, Tanisha. That's true.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, whoa. And then Nick, I don't want to get too graphic. Nick had like a glass of like, he had like a shot glass and he was licking the rim.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like,
Hello.
what?
Little simulation action there.
Oh, you're
Now
making
see-
me think. You're making me think of that Jordan live on the virtual cruise when he
cupcakes?
was like,
Oh,
when he was
oh my God.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
it's an audio
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
You can't see what I just did. And then when he almost pulled his pants down a little bit, that was great. That was great.
when he
Oh
was
my
in that
God.
real
He was
dark
so
room and all
hot.
you could see was his hands.
Yeah.
Yes, it was so
Mm.
suggestive.
And then like all you can see is abs, and you're like, oh, rips and nips. Woo-hoo.
I really wanted to pick Jenny McCarthy as my choice, but
I mean, that's
For the
perfect.
pervious.
for the
I mean-
perviest.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Joe just because like we know the most about Joe's genitalia than we do of any boy band member.
Mm-hmm.
You're
That's
welcome.
true.
Yeah, so
The
Joe-
baby arm.
the baby.
Blah.
Okay, funniest
That's easy.
Oh.
Amanda.
Oh, this is a hard one.
That's easy for me.
The funniest. I think they're all funny. I think they're all funny.
Mhm.
I think Joe's very funny in like a very theatrical kind of way. I also would have to say that I think Joey Fatone is incredibly funny. I love everything that he does, like when he does like reality shows and hosting and stuff like that, and even Broadway. Like he's just got that personality that draws you to him, and I think he's pretty funny too. So I'll go with those two.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bethie.
Well, again, AK's in my head. I was gonna go with Joey Fatone because anytime I've seen him in any arena, whether it be when they're performing or when, like you said, he's hosting a show or doing an interview, he's just so quick-witted, and he's hilarious. He really is. And I also think John's pretty funny. Even when he's not, inebriated.
John is funny, and he doesn't even realize he's being funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very innocent.
Oh, like in the panels, he would just say things and just get everyone roaring. Like,
Mhm.
Like those jokes about him and being in the bush or something during certain events.
We're going back to being perverts too, a
He
little
just,
bit.
but he
So
just rolls
funny
with the
and pervert.
jokes.
Come full circle.
Dude.
Maybe he is the pervert too.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Kelly.
Okay, I am 100% Team Jordan on this one because when you take Joey McIntyre and Jordan Knight and put those two fools together, the hilarity that ensues is amazing. And if you give them a phone with Instagram Live, then Heaven's Gate opens and it is the most amazing thing ever. And
That
then
is
you're going to
true.
talk about Russians and working
And
out.
what's in the
and-
cooler and
Yeah.
I have
and
Amazon
don't use my bench
stock.
press. Yeah.
I love
Bolsheviks.
those two.
You know what? That's very true. And even at the Kelly Clarkson show, Kelly, when Jordan was busting Joe's balls about it being a country song or whatever that's coming out on the new album, May 17th, New Kids on the Block, Still Kids. And he
Yeah.
like jumped on Jordan and like Jordan put him in a headlock or whatever. Like they act like
That was heaven
very
for
funny.
me.
I
That was
think
heaven.
Jordan was completely trolling us that whole time with
Do you?
saying
Yeah.
we should do a country album. I think he was full of
yeah, no.
shit.
Yeah,
I think he was
absolutely
totally
full of shit.
messing with us.
Maybe he was just trying to impress Kelly because he knows that she likes country.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Joe says it's not country. It's just because he says barn in it. Doesn't make it country. So I'm very curious what's going to happen, but they are my pick. I love those two together. I am 100% Team Jordan at any given time. And they both together are 13-year-old boys. And I love it.
Nice. Tanisha.
I agree with Amanda. Both Joes, Joe McIntyre and Joey Fatone, both very funny.
Mhm.
I was thinking about Nick and AJ and Brian, but sometimes they get a little bit too silly. Chris Kirkpatrick get a little bit too silly sometimes also. But yeah, Joe Mac and Joey Fatone, they just have really great personalities and really funny guys. Like it's not annoying to me. It's just really funny. Joe Mac's really quick, like you guys mentioned, and yeah. So both Joes, I think, are the most funny.
They're both very clever
Mhm.
with their sense of humor. So
Very true. Yes, I agree with that, Tanisha. And I'm going to pick Joe McIntyre because I don't know, he always makes me laugh. He's just quick and funny. And I love when he's like, do any kind of game competition thing they do where he's always like following the rules. You broke the rules. And he makes a big deal about it. It's so funny. But I'm also going to give a big honorable mention to Justin Timberlake because of the fact that he's so good on Saturday Night Live.
Bringing on that Homesville. Oh my God, Dick in a Box. 4 words, Dick in a Box.
Yes.
Yes.
He is funny.
Definite honorable mention.
And we're going to
he and
finish
Jimmy
it off.
Fallon are really something else.
They're a good pair.
Barry Gibb talk show.
I'm about to go into overtime, so I'm just gonna go. We'll have to do this next one quickly. I hope. I'm sorry.
We'll do it fast.
Okay, the last one: best social media presence. Amanda.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Amen.
No question about it. Because he engages in posting and in interacting with his fans, and there's an opportunity for you to potentially get a message from him on social media, which I don't find really. I mean, maybe Danny is second in terms of new kids alone, but Donnie Wahlberg, hands down.
Yep.
I love that. He beats them all like by miles. All of them by miles.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bethie.
Yep. Donnie. Hands
Kelly?
down.
So I definitely say Donnie, but also let's rewind back to the beginning of quarantine and remember what Chris was doing. He had trivia every week and was giving away prizes of his own things.
Oh,
So that was huge. And Lance is pretty fire on social media as well, like on TikTok and Reels and stuff. But Donnie is on all. Like he's everything. Interactions, birthdays, things like that. Nobody else is doing that.
He goes above and beyond always.
He does.
Yeah.
He's the king of it.
I also said Donnie. I also threw in Lance and AJ because they're on TikTok and doing videos, especially Lance. He's very active on TikTok. So I said Donnie, Lance, and AJ.
And on TikTok, didn't they have some kind of like a boy band wars thing going on for a while there too? That was really fun that they were all playing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to get the get them to do certain dances. And they asked Joey McIntyre to do something. He goes, I'm not joining another social media platform. He's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then he did.
And then he did. I love how they all kind of are in this cool little fraternity together, all of these guys, and that they just kind of, have this similar life experience, and like the NSYNC guys and the Backstreet guys and the New Kids guys and the O-Town guys and all of the,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love how they have such camaraderie between them when back in the day there was this kind of
There was a division.
misconceived division or competition between them, and now
Yeah.
it's like they're all just one big happy extended family. I really love that.
Yeah, because the Perlman effect has went away.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom
Yeah.
line is these guys, all of them have brought so many people together, so many fans, and the guys know it too. Like, we all have our friendships because we all love them.
100%.
And I
God
think
bless
that's
them.
an amazing thing. Let's give an honorable mention to Howie D, who won no competition today.
Oh, no.
Wasn't even mentioned. Howie, we
Aw.
love you. You win the Best Winker Award.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Aw, Howie.
This is how we do it.
He's got some suave about him, though.
He
Yeah.
sure does.
He's not far from the thoughts when it comes to some of these.
Absolutely.
I bet you he's probably the biggest pervert, maybe. We just don't know it.
Because he keeps it to himself.
Yeah, he keeps it to himself. Yeah.
He only when he's in the chateau.
I
And
love
that's
that
how-
song. Baby, I want you back.
Yes, that's
Oh,
my
Naomi,
favorite
let me hear
Backstreet
your
song.
Singing.
Ooh,
Oh my
I
god, I
love
have
that
a
song.
request. Naomi and AK, you guys should do a duet.
We didn't
Yep.
even do a duet when we
Someday.
were in, did we? When we were in Miami, we didn't do a duet, but
Mm-mm.
we
We
twerked
did
together.
not. We sure as hell did.
Mhm.
Oh
We
yes,
backed
body
up-
rolls.
I remember.
Body rolls aplenty.
We backed up
Mhm.
Adrian and Chrissy with our twerking skill.
That was so funny. It
I
was
love
so
you
funny.
guys. I love you
Love you
guys.
too.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
I
love you
being here with
too.
me today. It was
Thank
so
you
much
so
fun.
much.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Tanisha, I'll see you in Mountain View
Yes.
or LA.
Make it happen.
Yes, we will.
Social media, yeah, we've got it. Send us an email, dopenostalgiapodcast@gmail.com. Twitter, nostalgia dope. Or on Insta, dope_nostalgia.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work.